I'd like to call the, what is the date today? June 5th, regular scheduled Davie County Board of Education meeting to order. Great to have such a crowd here. I have a feeling you're not here to see us. But regardless, we're glad that you're here. So we'll open up. First item on the agenda is the invocation. If you'll pray with me, please. Loving and gracious God, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you today for all your blessings, for the successful outcomes of our school events, and for all of our staff members. We ask that you bless them abundantly, and as we continue to seek your wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength. Be with us in our deliberations, and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in us. Give us insight to lead with integrity, that our decisions may reflect what is right and good. Keep us from short-sightedness and pettiness. Help us to make decisions that are for the good of all, and guard us from blind self-interest. Dear Lord, grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and say. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll ask Girl Scout Troop 2150 to be leading us. Oh, there they are. I didn't see.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. Next item on the agenda is I need a motion to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Mr. Fuller. Do I have a second? Have a second by Mr. Drexler. All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our May meeting. Motion by Mr. Drexler. Second? Second by Colonel Hills. All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Moving right along. Important dates, we'll list a few. June 8th, fairly important. Early release, last day for students. June 9th, this Saturday, it's hard to believe, but at 8:30, our high school graduation will be held for the first time at the new school. Excited about that. And then June 18th on Monday, summer hours begins. All locations are closed on Fridays, and then 4th of July will be here before you know it. So it's rolling right along whether you want to or not. Next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Hartness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. Glad to see everyone out. I'll make my comments brief this evening. As you just mentioned, only 3 more days of school, and we've wrapped up another school year. Congratulations, students in the room, and congratulations, teachers and principals. Is that okay, too? A few weeks ago, we congratulated the class of 2018 with a fantastic graduation ceremony for the early college high school. And this Saturday morning at 8:30, we will see 400. Yes, exactly 400 students are graduating from Davie County High School at War Eagle Stadium at 8:30 on Saturday morning. We are anticipating excellent weather. As of right now, the forecast calls for a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms after 11 a.m. That will work out just perfectly. So we look forward to that. This week, we have a very special guest in Davie County on Thursday at 11 o'clock. The First Lady of North Carolina, Kristen Cooper, will be visiting Davie County High School on her tour around the state to visit each county in North Carolina. She's going to spend some time touring our school, visiting with our staff and students, so we look forward to hosting the First Lady on Thursday. A little update on the state budget. The state budget has passed both chambers of the state legislature and is now awaiting a signature from the governor. There's a lot of positives about this year's budget. I know that each of you board members are receiving updates from the North Carolina School Boards Association, and as things are finalized, we'll be giving you some updates on how that budget affects directly in Davie County. But just a few highlights. The budget provides an average increase of 6.5% for teachers, includes a $700 annual increase for teachers with 25 years or more of service. The pay structure that's been developed by the legislature is much different than what we've all been used to with 30 or 35 steps. It essentially ramps up the pay of teachers over the first 15 years of their career, and then it remains fairly flat. So there's some questions and debate as whether or not that is the best approach, but that's what it is right now. The budget also addresses some much-needed fixes to the principal salary schedule and some issues that were brought to the legislature's attention last year, raising principals' base pay by 6.9%. It includes a 2% raise for other employees of the school system as well. The legislature made a significant investment in school safety, and we'll be learning more about the programs that they have funded as those funnel through the state superintendent's office. We'll learn some more later this month about school resource officer grants and other opportunities to apply for some funding for school safety. Mr. Wallace, Mr. Nicholson, and Ms. Stevens, Principal William R. Davie, and I met with the Speaker of the House's Education Advisor in May, who came to my office, and we talked about a variety of education topics, but we thank Speaker Moore for sending his education advisor to come out and talk with us and understand how decisions in Raleigh are affecting school districts individually. So we'll have to continue that ongoing conversation and dialogue. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to this board for another great school year. You guys have spent a lot of time in our schools. You attend events. You meet with parents and parent advisory groups. You come to special events for schools, and that does not go unnoticed. And as a staff, we commend you for that and appreciate your support for what's going on in Davie County schools. And I know that our community thanks you for that as well. I hope everyone has a great last week of school and a safe and a restful summer.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is recognitions. And first, we have the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission Youth Hunter Education State Competition, and we have Mary Foster and Jeff Clark to present.
Board, Dr. Hartness, all these great people gathered here. I have the honor to introduce our hunter safety team's head coach, Jeff Clark, because our hunter safety team at North Davie won 2 awards at the state competition.
Thank you. I have the privilege of coaching the North Davie Hunter Safety Team along with Kevin Leonard and Emily Hellard, Hunter Safety Team is sponsored by statewide the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. It's a statewide competitive shooting program. All the schools here in the county, the 3 middle schools and the high school, have teams that travel and compete each year. District and state level competition. Our North Davie Wildcat team, which consists of Naomi Hellard, Landon Leonard, Jackson Clark, Luke Roberts, and Lacey White, traveled to the state tournament this year. And in that event, they received, out of 60 teams that competed there, almost 600 participants, this 5-man team received the Fred Rohr Sportsmanship Award, which is recognized by it's chosen and recognized by the Wildlife Resources Commission to honor a longtime conservation volunteer, and it is a very distinguished award to receive among that fine group of people. So I'd like to congratulate them for that. Guys, if you could come up, please. We have Naomi Hellard, Landon Leonard, Luke Roberts, Jackson Clark, and Lacey White. Now, just hold on a second. At this tournament, where there are, again, almost 600 participants, middle schools and high schools across the state, We compete in rifle shooting, archery, shotgun. There's compass and orienteering and a bookwork test piece as well. One young lady stepped forward and shot a perfect shotgun trap score. Naomi Hellard shot a perfect score at the state tournament and was one of four juniors, middle schoolers at the tournament who shot perfect scores. So we went to a sudden death shoot-off to determine the state champion. And Naomi Hellard was the last one standing to take. She has the honor of being the 2018 Junior Trap Champion of the state of North Carolina this year. Good job.
Congratulations. Next recognition is Robotics champion, John Marshall.
Good afternoon, Chairman Junker, Dr. Hartness, members of the board, staff, family, and friends. I'm here today to recognize South Davie Ravagers. Why don't you guys come on up, along with the coaches, Mr. Beatty and Ms. Cruz. I believe that we're going on our 8th year of doing robotics championships in Davie County, and this is our middle school team that won our competition. This year, we followed along with what we did last year, which was a 4x8 playing field in which teams had to design and program and work on a remote control to control their robots to collect golf balls and put them into different containers. And these three gentlemen destroyed the competition this year. They actually scored 144 points. With the different challenges and different scoring that we did with the different golf balls. And the closest competitor to them was 75 points. So congratulations, guys. Yeah. So Shiv Patel, Keenan Beasley, and Evan Ballard, I present you guys with a medal for each of you. To the school, we have a trophy that I'll present to Mr. Beatty and Ms. Cruz. And finally, certificates for all three boys. Thank you.
Congratulations. Next recognition is the National Spelling Bee and Miss Jenda Haynes.
All right, I would like to ask Reagan to come forward. Reagan Edson, Chairman Junker, board members, Dr. Hartness, and guests. It's our honor to recognize and congratulate Reagan. I want to tell you a little bit about her. She's a 7th grader from South Davie Middle School. It's not the first time you've seen this young lady. She's the daughter of Michael and Patty Loudermilk Edson. We recognized her earlier this spring as being South Davie's Spelling Bee winner, as well as the Davie County Spelling Bee winner. And this was her 2nd year in a row as the district Spelling Bee winner. So she's won 2 district bees in a row. She was invited to the Scripps National Spelling Bee in National Harbor, Maryland on May 27th through June 1st. She was one of only 20 students in North Carolina who competed in the National Bee, so this is a huge honor for her. And I think the only student who's ever been from Davie County. She made it to the 3rd round, and I learned that some of her words included irredeemable and myocardiograph. Do you have that, Chairman Junker? She tied for 42nd place out of 516. So we are really proud of Reagan and how she represented Davie County. We want to thank her for her hard work and congratulate her. We also want to thank her parents for their steadfast support, as well as the Davie Community Foundation for helping sponsor her trip. So please join me in congratulating Reagan.
Congratulations. It's amazing. Next recognition is the Girl Scouts Gold Award and Doyle Nicholson.
It's my pleasure to recognize 3 young ladies who were recently awarded the Girl Scout Gold Award. The Gold Award, the highest award a Girl Scout can earn, is open only to girls in high school and challenges them to change the world. These women's young projects are impacting the world of STEM, education, agriculture, medicine, and more on a local and a national level. To earn the Girl Scout Gold Award, a Girl Scout is required to do a minimum of 80 hours of service. This year, the following students from Davie High School earned the Gold Award. They are Lydia Kennedy, Sierra Foster, and Emery Rosenbaum. Are they here? They must be studying for exams. I'll give it to them.
Next recognition is Mr. Doyle Nicholson again for the 2018 Clarion Gallery of Excellence.
Okay. Ms. Shu, if your staff and you will come forward. The Davie High School yearbook staff, or yearbook, the Clarion, received national recognition from their publishing company, Walsworth. The 2018 Clarion was inducted into the Gallery of Excellence, a collection of college, high school, and middle school yearbooks published by Walsworth and recognized as consistently demonstrating superior quality. Books are chosen yearly based on excellence in theme, coverage, design, photography, and story copy. The Clarion was chosen based on the quality of last year's book, 2017's Home is Where the Heart Is, which captured the nostalgia of the final days at 1200 Salisbury Road, and the 2018 Clarion, which documented the transition and first year at 180 War Eagle Drive. As a Gallery of Excellence publication, Davie's 2018 yearbook will be distributed by Walsworth to other school yearbook staffs and advisors nationwide. It is my pleasure to recognize Michelle Shu, the Clarion Yearbook Advisor, and her yearbook staff for this honor and for the many hours of dedication they put in creating the book each year. And I will let Ms. Shu introduce her editors.
This is Emma Allen. She's the editor-in-chief, so she made all the final decisions. And Renee Marshall, who is the business editor. She got us out of debt and kept us out of debt this year, so we are especially grateful for that. Both of these young ladies have worked on the staff for 3 years. 3 years ago, they were awarded the Tar Heel Award from the state of North Carolina's Scholastic Media Association. And so they have just been part of great yearbooks, both mine and ones that I didn't do, ever since they've been in high school. And now we're sending it off to national competitions to see what they say. So I appreciate their hard work, and I'm thankful for all that they've done to represent our school and our community.
Next recognition is the 2018 CTE Awards, Anthony Davis and Jesse Ledbetter.
Chairman Junker, Dr. Hartness, board members, guests, we offer a lot of great opportunities at Davie County Schools, and this is one of them. This is FFA, and I'm not sure if any of the members of FFA are here, can come on up. Yeah, you guys come on up. I thought I saw a couple. They had a great banquet a couple weeks ago, and all these recognitions, they reviewed all these recognitions at that time. But they do a great job at this chapter, and it's evident by the awards that they receive. The first one I'm going to recognize is the Floriculture Award. And with Floriculture, you have Aubrey Myers, Sarah Bracken, Maddie Clark, and Kayla Hartzell. They came in third in the region, and the things that they have to do is identify plants, judge flowers, flower arrangements, and solve problems as it relates to floriculture. And they were able to bring home a third place award in the region, which is really good because we have a pretty large region. There's a lot of chapters there. Another award that we received as far as in the chapter was the first in the Federation in tractor driving, and that's honestly one that I did not know that was an award, but it is great, and from my understanding, it's very difficult to do. So we have Hunter Leroy that was able to do that, and that was first in the Federation. The Federation consists of Surrey, Forsyth, and us, and he came in first in that. And again, from my understanding, the course is pretty difficult to get through, and he came in first. We also had another young man, Nathan Haskin, that came in first in the Federation for the Ffa Creed. And honestly, I've seen the Ffa Creed before, but to actually listen to it, it's very, very long and very detailed. And he had to memorize the creed. And he had to go through it and then answer questions about it, what it stood for, the things that were in the creed. And he did a great job with that and came in first in the Federation on that one. And then lastly, we got a National Chapter Award for our entire chapter, which again is to be applauded. The Davie County FFA got the National Chapter Award, and what that does is it recognizes chapters that actively implement the mission and strategies of the organization and provide educational experiences for the entire membership. And we have a very, very active FFA membership. Mr. Ledbetter does a great job. He was not able to be with us this evening, but he does a great job with that chapter, and thanks to these young folks and all the effort that they put into it. And the banquet was phenomenal. If anybody was able to be there, they did a great job. The students put everything together, and they did a wonderful job with that. It was a good night. So just want to give a round of applause to these members.
Next recognition is track and field. Jeff Wallace.
Thank you, Chairman Junker, board, and guests tonight. It's, again, my honor to stand here and recognize some of our athletes, student athletes, for some of their accomplishments. And first, I'd like to recognize some of our track and field folks. Coach Ray's back. You want to come on up, please? Is Coach Sweet? Is he? Coach Sweet and Coach Boswell are not here. Okay. That'll be fine. This is Coach Ray's back. I tell you what, who do we have here? Is Liz and Jared? Some of those folks here? Nate. Let's have them come on up if they're here. 5 athletes come up. Yeah, there they are. And dressed in bow ties. Yes, sir. That might help your grades just a little bit. All right. Well, you look good and you've performed well as also. Coach, I'm going to say a few things that I'm aware of. Ms. Crenshaw, would you step right over here just a moment, please? So I can mention this number. This young lady won the long jump in the conference this year. Now, that body can go through the air almost 16 feet. 16 feet. Now, you can lay me down about 2 or 3 times to get that, right? Okay, that's a great job. But she was 15 feet 8 inches, I think, to be exact, that Miss Crenshaw was the CPC long jump champion. Also, Jared, there's Jared. Jared set a 400-meter, you won the championship, the CPC championship in the 400-meter. So that's a little farther than 1 lap around the track in 50 seconds. So we can jump, we can shoot, we can build robots, we can run fast, we can spell. Got to have it all. Got to have it all. We got it all together. Also, like to mention is Clay. Right here's Clay. That's right. Clay finished second in the conference in the 1,600 meters, and also have part of the 4x800 relay team that finished second, I'm understanding, in the Midwest Regionals. Is that correct? All of them are fine athletes. All of them are fine students and fine young men and women. And Coach, and I also want to mention one thing before I turn it over to you. Coach, you guys have started an AAU summer track. Coach Sweet, right?
Correct.
So just, you may want to just mention that just a little bit, but if anything you want to share about these student athletes would be great.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace, and thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for being here and allowing me to speak. Liz, in winning the long jump at the conference championship, she's the first female from Davie High School to win a conference championship at the track championship since 2015. She bettered her jump of 15.8 at the regional meet, went 16.2. We're part of the Midwest 4A region. We competed at Southern Pines, Pinecrest High School for the regional meet, trying to qualify for states. Liz competed, first of all, you have to qualify to get into the region. Liz qualified in 4 different events. And if you remember a few weeks ago when we competed in the regions, it was 95 degrees that day. So she was out there all day long competing in 4 events. Quite an effort from Liz. Several weeks ago, Liz signed her letter of intent, and she will be attending UNC Asheville in the fall and will be continuing her track and field career at UNC Asheville. Jared DeCane, and Liz is a senior. Jared is our other senior. In addition to being the CPC champion at 400 meters, again, the first male athlete on the track team from Davie High to win the conference in track and field since 2015 also. His indoor accolades are probably even greater than that. At the state 4A championships during indoor track, Jared placed 4th, was on the podium, received a medal for his 4th place finish. He was ranked number 89 in the United States in the 500 meters. And Jared will be attending West Point in the fall. He's received his appointment to West Point. The 3 other gentlemen are all underclass. Clay Summers was a state qualifier, not only in cross country but indoor track, finished 7th at the state championships indoors in the 1,600 meters. There were 6 ahead of him, 5 seniors and 1 junior. So Clay was the number 2 underclassman at the state championships indoors. Outdoors finished 2nd in the 1,600 meters at the conference championships and was part of our 4x8 relay team, which I'll speak about now. Jared, freshman Nate Brooks, Clay, and then also our other junior, Trey Raceback. Those 4 were part of our 4x800 relay team that broke the school record 4 times, beat the previous school record by over 20 seconds. We were 2nd at the 4A Midwest Regional with 3 underclassmen, and we also advanced to the state championships where we placed, didn't have our best day, but placed 14th with 3 underclassmen. So we will be back. We have, as Mr. Wallace alluded to, we have started an AAU program. Coach Mark Sweet, who's one of our track coaches, he has started that program, which is actually training now and competing now. It's for all ages, elementary, junior, or middle school and high school. And they will be competing throughout the summer in hopes of developing our program. And the most exciting news, which I will share with the board at this time, I don't think we've made it public, we put in a bid at the regional meet seeking to host the Midwest Regional in track next year. By a vote of the coaches, we were awarded that meet. So Davie High will host next May the 4A Midwest Regional, which is a pretty big deal. It's going to bring a lot of people to Davie County, and all we need is about $15,000 for new equipment. So thank you all very much.
Guys, she wants your picture outside. Picture? Yes, sir. Good job.
Congratulations. Last recognition is Mr. Wallace with softball.
Thank you, Chairman Junker. Coach Lowry, Coach Evans, Coach White, you guys just bring the girls and come on over. Just line them up across here. We're right across here. Be great. This group can do a little bit of everything I mentioned a while ago. They can hit, throw, and run, and they're pretty smart. I'm going to mention and catch. That's real important, whoever said that. That's a great point. Was that Miss Haynes? Awesome. Miss Haynes. That's from the academic lady. Good job. All right. Coach Lowry, obviously our head coach of our CPC regular season championship team right here. And if my understanding, Coach Lowry, this is the first time. Now, last year you won the CPC tournament. But the last time Davie County High School women won the regular season softball championship was in 2001. And who played first base then, Coach Lowry? Dawn Singleton. That's right. So kind of unique that Dawn was on the last team that won the conference championship. And I'm going to ask Dawn to say a few things, but I do want to just mention to you that this team started out, I'm sure you remember your record. I remember your record very well. Started out 0-4. That's 0 wins and 4 losses in a row there. And but ended up the regular season by defeating 2, I guess you'd say, pretty strong teams in East Forsyth and Reagan to secure the championship. And again, not only is this a fine group of young ladies, but they're also wonderful athletes and wonderful students, and led by 3 of some of our finest faculty right here with us that commit and do a lot for our school and a lot for these young ladies. But Coach Lowry, if you don't mind, if you'll just come up and say a few things, and maybe if you want to introduce who we have with us.
Well, thank you guys for having us again, 2 years in a row, pretty special. I think it goes without saying that I wouldn't be here talking to you guys if it wasn't for these girls standing in front of me. This is a great group of girls, very easy to coach. They're very dedicated to the game. They work hard. Probably one of the best well-meshed teams that I've coached in a long time. So, you know, we wouldn't be as successful as we were without every single one of these girls standing up here. And they each play their part. They buy into their role, and they make our job easy. So I'll take a second just to kind of introduce them. But like Mr. Wallace said, you know, we haven't done this in 17 years, and we try to let these girls know that what they've done this year and what they've accomplished is a big deal. And we're very, very proud of each of them. We're proud to be part of Davie County softball as a player and now coach. It just makes my heart happy standing up here in front of you guys today. So we'll start with the seniors. Our catcher, Sydney Hendren. Bridget Tierney's our center fielder, a pitcher, River Simpson. Outfielder, Anna Devereaux. One of our seniors is missing, and your 2017 CPC Player of the Year, Sierra Ferguson. So. Between all of these players, all of those seniors, there's about 12 Davie County high school records being held between all of them. So they've accomplished a lot, and you know, it's something that makes our job easy. Our juniors are Sydney Smith and Desiree Lewis and Rachel Bostick and Sydney Wyatt, and our sophomores are Isley Ball and Emma Patterson. And we're missing a couple girls, but like I said, these girls are just very, very fun to coach. We had a great year. You know, I would be lying if I didn't say that any coach out there loves to win ball games. They love to win championships. They love the trophies. But our job as coaches is to develop these ladies off of the field. You know, that's something that we take pride in. And one of the things that I like to really focus on is how can I make them better leaders in their community, better leaders in their church, in their workplace when they move on from high school. And with that being said, I want to take just a second for our senior, Anna Devereaux, to say something on behalf of her team.
First of all, we'd like to just thank y'all for having us today and recognizing us as the 2018 CPC champions. I'm beyond thankful to have been able to play in a place like Davie County for the past 10 years. This team consists of friendships that'll last a lifetime and memories that we'll never forget. And to all my seniors, I can't wait to see where life takes us, and I know that y'all are all going to do great things. And to the underclassmen, I look forward to seeing you all continue to step up and become better leaders, players, and people than you already are, and take the CPC title again next year. And I love y'all forever, and thank you again for just a wonderful season and a wonderful last 4 years. Go War Eagles.
Congratulations. That was the last recognition that we have tonight, but I would echo Mr. Wallace's comments, whenever you look at the wide range of skill sets that's represented right there, it's incredible that we have that opportunity to provide the opportunity for them. So congratulations to all. Next item on the agenda, and I'll let, give us just a minute. Can't believe y'all are leaving. I'm offended. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and I'd like to remind us that there is an addendum that has to do with the personnel and with the filling of 2 positions on there as well. And so I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Have a motion by Colonel Hills. Have a second? Second by Mr. Fuller. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
Mr. Chairman, the board just approved the consent agenda, which included the personnel recommendations, and I'd like to recognize 2 guests that are with us tonight that fill some of our vacancies that you just approved. The first person I'd like to introduce will be the new principal of Shady Grove Elementary School for 2018-19, Ms. Sarah Meyer. Sarah, would you stand? Let's welcome Sarah. Sarah has spent the last 4 years as principal of Friedberg Elementary School in Davidson County. She's also taught 3rd grade for several years. She's worked with teachers as a district curriculum specialist, and she served as an assistant principal in 3 elementary schools. We are very fortunate, board, to have some very strong candidates for our principal vacancies that we just went through. Our interview panel was extremely impressed with Ms. Meyer and our other candidates. We feel like she'll be an extremely good fit for Shady Grove. So welcome to Davie County Schools, Sarah, and welcome to the Shady Grove family as well. I'm glad to have you. I'd also like to recognize Ms. Cindy Myers. Cindy, would you stand? Cindy, sure, I'll spell those in just a moment. We'll revisit that. Cindy is being named the principal of William Ellis Middle School beginning in 2018-19. She has served for the last 3 years as assistant principal at North Davie Middle School. Prior to working in Davie County Schools, Cindy has served in several curriculum and teacher support roles, along with 14 years of classroom experience as a 6th grade teacher. So she's got a lot of middle school experience. We've seen Cindy continue to grow as a leader over the last 3 years. We knew that when we hired her that this day would soon come, and we always told Mary Foster, you will only have her for so long. And Cindy, we're proud of you. We know that she works well with both students and staff, and we feel like that she will be an extremely good fit for William Ellis Middle School as their next leader. So if you would like to welcome Sarah Meyer, M-A-I-E-R, and Cindy Myers, M-Y-E-R-S, to our administrative team.
Welcome. Next is our business items, and first item on the agenda under business items, Davie County High School Student-Run Credit Union, and Anthony Davis.
Because it's been a joint effort. So what we're looking at doing here, the administration at Davie High, Mr. Nicholson, and the district administration has decided to, and of course our presentation is not coming up, it doesn't look like, but anyway, what we're looking at is the idea of bringing a student-run credit union to Davie High School. And there's a lot of advantages. I've been in contact, Dr. Hartness actually put me in contact with the person that was in charge of it in Forsyth County. That would be Dr. Bynum. I was able to speak with Dr. Bynum about some various things and the details about how to go about this, what is it that this would entail for us. But really, there's not a lot of downside to it. We really see a lot of advantages. It really puts our students to an advantage because it gives them an opportunity to be able to run the credit union themselves with help, of course, from an adult. Typically, what happens is you have a person that would be there from the credit union with the students. The students would receive training. We would use it as an internship, with the ability to offer internships. And one of the things we've noticed with internships is we're not able to get a ton of students doing internships because some of them have transportation issues. They can't go off campus. So this would give them an opportunity for us to be able to provide an opportunity for them to have an internship on campus. They wouldn't have to leave, so that way they could get some hours in. There are other possible opportunities for employment in the summer for these students that are involved in it. So there's a lot of upside to this. One of the things we've discussed is possibly having an ATM that would be in the school itself, and of course that would be available during the school day. It would be available for ball games if people are there and don't have cash, they need to get some. It would be available there as well. The details, of course, we would have to work out, and we have a draft. I think we've given you the draft request for proposal, and once that RFP is approved, then we would put that out there for credit unions to be able to offer their services and see which one fits best for Davie High School. But we do see a lot of upside to this, and really, giving those students a lot of real-world banking experience, and even for students to be able to participate in banking itself there in the school during the school day at lunches whenever we determine that it would be available. And Mr. Nicholson, I know he's done a lot of research on this as well, and we've had a lot of discussions about it, and we both are very much for this. So I guess what we're asking the board to do is to approve this for us to be able to start the process of putting the RFP out there and trying to join up with a credit union.
Thank you. Any questions?
I got a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Number one, do you have any idea at this point, and I know this is very premature, as to how many kids you could put through that program? I heard what you said as far as they lack the transportation, so that's a great idea for those people. And then the second question would be, if everything goes forward and we wind up with one in our high school, there will not be any monies left there at the end of the day, would there?
Again, a lot of those details would be worked out. From my understanding, from what Dr. Bynum has told me, is that the credit union actually works out the security piece of that. They bring in their own server as far as computer stuff, so we wouldn't have to worry about anything running through our system. As far as the security itself, I'm not sure if they actually put a safe of some kind in a secure location, but the credit union would come in and they would take a look at our facility, and then they would work out all those details. But at no time would we be responsible for any of those monies. It would be at the credit union at that point in time, and they would deal with that however their policies or procedures saw fit. As far as the number of students, we're not talking about a huge area and possibly even maybe a kiosk that is brought out into, to the lobby area, that sort of thing for the credit union to be run. So we're probably maybe talking about 3 or 4 students per semester that would be able to, but again, that's 3 or 4 students. That's quite a few to be able to put into our internships that currently do not have internships.
Sure.
Mr. Nicholson, I don't know if you have any other.
And there'd be a credit union employee on site.
Yeah, I had read that, yes. I think that's a great opportunity, and you hit it on the head. Some of those students might like banking and want to go into banking because of this exposure, as well as some kind of summer employment. So that's a great idea too, so thank you.
Is the ATM located inside or outside the facility?
It would be located inside, so it would be what we're looking at is probably locating somewhere in the cafeteria that's not in direct sight of the outside doors, so around the corner. But it will be available anytime that we have an indoor event such as ball games or a theater performance, stuff like that, so that they can still do it in the evenings as well.
And I did have some pictures, and of course, like I said, the presentation's not coming up, but we're looking at the area right there in the cafeteria, kind of near where the food serving line is, kind of around that corner. That way, again, the ATM is not visible from the front doors of the school, but it would be outside of a room so that people could use it as needed.
We'd be using that concession stand area inside the schoolroom.
All right.
Want people to see it.
I guess just for the purpose if somebody comes by the front door and they look around and they see an ATM in there, break in the school. So
You're talking about after hours?
Yeah, just
I
after
see.
hours.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve. Have a motion by Mr. Fuller, have a second by Ms. Horn. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. It's a great opportunity.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda, I'll turn it over to Ms. Miller. Core switches for wide area network project budget amendment.
Thank you, Chairman Junker, members of the board. You have before you this evening a request to use $240,000 of capital outlay fund balance for the purchase of core switches for the wide area network project. This is kind of using these funds, most of them will be reimbursed, well, 100% will be reimbursed. 70% will be reimbursed through the E-rate program to our capital outlay fund, and the other 30% will be reimbursed to us through state funds, through a state allotment that we get. It's just that the reimbursement will not all be through the capital outlay funds. And the reason we're requesting these today is because we need to proceed with this project so it can be completed by June 30th. Let's see, this is, again, as I said, it's an E-rate program purchase that will be refunded 100%. And our request is that you approve the use of the $240,000 of fund balance.
Deborah, you said reimbursement comes 70% one source, 30 from another. When it lands back in our system, do they both go back into capital outlay?
No. The way it works is we'll receive a check for the 70% that will then be deposited back into the capital outlay fund. The other 30% will be an allotment that comes through program 073, which is the school connectivity allotment, and then we can spend it for technology purchases in that manner. So you will, at the end, you will be using $72,000 of fund balance, and only $168,000 will be reimbursed to the capital outlay fund balance. But you'll still have $72,000 that will come through the state that can still be used for other technology projects. It's just the way that the E-rate program refunds all this to us, and that's a federal program. And there is a timing difference of when we spend the money for these projects, and then we have to file for the reimbursement, and a couple months will go by until we get this reimbursement.
Can I say that I don't see how you do your job? It is, it's
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah,
Years of experience.
very complicated. Any questions? All right, entertain a motion. Have a motion by Mr. Drexler, second by Colonel Hills. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much. And that was a compliment in there somewhere.
Thank you, and I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to Butch Rooney, who understands the E-rate program a whole lot better than I do.
You guys are great. Next item on the agenda is a public address to the board.
Mr. Chairperson, looks like no one has signed up, so I believe we can move on to our next item.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is spring policy updates. Dr. Hartness.
Mr. Chairman, the board has in your agenda item a number of policies that are recommended for update by the North Carolina School Boards Association Policy and Legal Services Division. Those are in draft format for your review, and then we'll revisit those in July and request that you consider approval. So if you would please review those between now and our next board meeting, and if you have any questions or concerns, please give our office a call, and we'll be glad to talk about those, prepare to discuss them at our next meeting.
Great. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Spillman, the field house update.
Chairman Junker, Board, Dr. Hartness, staff. I am here to give you a little brief update on the field house. It's, we made our first site visit out there with Magnolia Construction on May 4th and walked the property, looked at fencing, that sort of thing. And so the following Monday, they took the fence down, put up a temporary fence, and you can see we started grading on May 9th, and a local contractor was doing that with Lakey Backhoe Service. And as you can see here, the footings are being installed with the rebar for the block, and it's really starting to take shape, in which you can see the plumbing is starting here in this picture as far as the ruffian plumbing. There is a lot of plumbing in a field house, of course. And the block was delivered on May 25th, right before we got a week's worth of rain. And so they didn't much go on last week. But I was out there this morning. There's two courses of block. Most of the ruffian plumbing's done. I just got a text. They're planning on pouring the floor on Tuesday, 65 yards worth. So it's rolling right now. So as long as weather permitting, we're getting some stuff done. So
Great. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Next, go back to Finance, Davie County High School construction update. Back to Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Chairman Junker. You also have in your board packet this evening an update of our expenses for the Davie County High School, the new Davie County High School. And you can see we are at 99%. So we are winding down on spending those bond funds and the school lottery funds, and we're in the final stages. If you have any questions about that at this point.
When will we expect to get 100%?
Well, we have a field house now, so we'll, if you stop adding things.
Good point. Got it. I did.
When we spend all the money. Thank you, Chairman Junker.
No, you're welcome. Any questions? Thank you very much. I think the next item on the agenda is, I think before we go into closed session, I'll just open it up to see if there's any comments from the board. Seeing none, thank you guys for being here. We're getting ready to go into closed session. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to the North Carolina General Statutes listed on our agenda, to discuss personnel matters protected by state law, and to discuss student matters made confidential by general statutes and FERPA. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Mr. Drexler. I have a second by Ms. Horn. All those in favor? Motion carries. We are now in closed session. Thank you very much for being here.